Hello, welcome to another one of my videos. My name is Mr. Trail, and today I'll be going over some more fourth grade math, and to be specific, writing in standard word and expanded form. But before we do that, we need to go ahead and do some review on exactly what is place value, because having this review will allow us to begin writing our numbers in math. So, what is place value again? Place value is the location of a specific number and its importance to why that number is where it's at. So, looking at the chart that we have here, the place that we have for the numbers has a name. And typically, it's called the thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. And it has its associated values or values that are connected to it. And they're shown in a number form. A little key and a heads up before we get started for everything is that when we get into word and expanded form, think of the place value portion as your word form, where we're back in language arts class and we have to, instead of writing with our numbers, we're now writing with actual letters and creating words out of our numbers. And values are going to be looking more towards our expanded form. And we'll get into more details with that. One thing to really look into and notice is there's a very big commonality stemming from ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. And that is as you start with the ones and head left to the thousands, if you were to multiply each number by 10, 1 times 10 equals 10, 10 times 10 is 100, and so on, you'll find that as we continue, it grows into the very next number. And that's key to understand how place value works and how we begin to move along a number. With that being said, let's get into our very first writing form. Our very first form of math we are going to get into today is known as word form, which, as I described previously, is the idea that we're back into our language arts writing mindset of not necessarily writing in numbers, but writing in letters. So we'll now go along and write out actual words in sentence in a full sentence with structure to show visually what it looks like instead of an actual number. And remember that we will help us is utilizing the place and place value. So beginning, we will take a look at this and notice that we start from left to right. And the first number we'll look at is 3. Since it is in the 3,000 spot, that is exactly what we're going to write, is 3,000. And continuing forward to the right, we observe that the number 2 is in the hundreds, and that is the next number we will begin to write, is going to be 200. And I'm purposely changing color so we could really emphasize and understand what we're seeing. And here's where we get into more of a confusing portion of the writing, and that is the fact that when we get into the tens portion, every number ends with the portion of ty. And what I mean by that is, since there's a 6, we don't just write 6 tens, we would write 60. If there was a 4 in there, you'd write 40, and so on. And we're wrapping up with the 5. We don't write 5 ones. We end up writing in just 65. And that wraps up word form. As I described earlier, it is writing actual sentences or a full sentence with letters to show us the idea of what a number is. And now we're going to go into our next form. The second form of writing is what we call expanded form. So we're spreading out the numbers into its own unique values, as we remember with these number portion, the values, so we can see definitively and specifically what each and every value looks like in its place. So going forward with the number we have today is 2,643. And we always begin left to right, as previously, like in Word, is that we start with thousands. Since we see a 2 there, we're talking about 2,000. And as we continue right, an expanded form involves addition, because if you add all these numbers up, you'll end up with the number we see is the number 6. And that 6 is the 100th spot, so we know that it's going to now be 600. And we're going to add on the tens. And just as similar as word count, word form being 40, we write 40 in the addition. And we have 3 ones, which wraps us up with a 3. And if we write all these together, it'll be 2,643. And we receive for that all from the beginning place values of each number from its location. And now we're going to briefly go over standard form, which is our last portion of this lesson. Standard form is the same form we always write in. We, as in anybody that's writing math and is learning from this video. So the perfect example I can give you is just to show you it. So our question asks us, write the number 36 in standard form. So standard form is how we always write our math and our numbers. So standard form for 36 looks like this. And this ends up our lesson. We went over the place value chart. We went over standard, word, and expanded form. And we've found how important it is to be able to write our numbers in different ways. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a comment and a like on this video. And I'm looking forward to you seeing on the next lesson. Have a good day.